What's going on, guys? Troy and Mountain Man Treasure, and it's time to show you how simple it is to ship stuff internationally.
Mountain Man
Treasures.
So we did it again, guys. We sold another Barbie, and of course, it went international. So many of these go international. There's a huge market for it, and actually, for that reason, I priced this one higher. There's sold comps at like 20, 30, some into the 40, but I had a good feeling about this one internationally. And so I priced some of these as I'm listing, looking down at them here. I've got a new batch of Barbies, and I'm listing a lot of them higher than the sold comps because so many of my Barbies are going internationally. I think I've got a good shot at selling it at the higher price point because other people aren't selling it internationally. So they're not my target audience in the US right now. My target audience like this, France. And it's really easy through eBay standard international delivery. Let me show you how we do that. So let me just show you this part first. I mean, I guess this is step one, right? Is creating an actual listing. This is one I started a draft of. I've still got lots of stuff to fill in, like the item specifics and, you know, the description, all that, even the price. But when we get down here to delivery, this is on the app. I list all my stuff off of the app. So we're going to click here. And what we're going to do is I have all these different ones set up. You'd be able to see it on the computer as well if you did it on there. But this is what we're going to pick here. This one is calculated first class because this is going to be a first class item that we're selling here, this little model. And see, the second one there is key. I know it's not focused real well. Calculated eBay International. And it says under that, so we're doing standard service, calculated standard services for anything in the States. And then after that, it's international. The international option I'm selecting is eBay International Standard Delivery. Okay, that's what I'm picking instead of global shipping or even me shipping it myself, which I can do and I also do on some orders. But a lot of times I'm going through the eBay system now. So we're going to select that one. We're going to select, just like we normally do, our package weight. Now, I think 1 pound is probably fair for it. And this is going to fit. It's a 6-inch model, but it's probably going to need a little bit bigger box because it's pretty wide. So I might do the 12-inch. Yeah, we'll do, and this doesn't actually matter, to be honest, but let's say it's a 12 by 6 by 6. Okay. All right, so done. And it's going to show us right there, ship in the U.S., price, ship internationally. And it'll show you, here's the service, the eBay International Standard Delivery. And so the buyer would pay $10 to $13 based on their location, based on the weight that I put in there of 1 pound. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'll finish this later. Okay, guys, breaking in now. Mountain Man from the future. I realized I put this thing together the other day. You saw the Barbie and the what sold yesterday. And I talk about international shipping here. And I think there's some valuable information, some explanatory stuff. But you know what? I left some stuff out. I talked about the actual shipping process, but I know people are going to have questions a little bit deeper than that, right? So we're cutting this in, and then we're going to jump back into how the actual shipping works. Now, this versus global shipping, what's the difference? Okay, the biggest difference is the cost ultimately to the buyer. The way global shipping works is, first off, they send everything priority. And so everything's a little bit more expensive because it's going priority international. You can send 4 pounds on down first class international. It's different than international in the States where it has to be, 15.9 ounces is first class. First class international is all the way up to 4 pounds. So that's one difference, is they're sending potentially very light items, priority mail. Okay. The other thing, and the biggest thing, is the amount that they charge for import fees. Now, every country has different rules on how much they're going to charge for the people that live there to buy stuff from other countries. Thing is, many countries have a minimum set. A lot of European countries, it's something like $150. If the item that they're getting is under $150, there's no import fees. There's nothing. They just go to their post office, they pick it up, right? Canada, much the same way. For most stuff, there's no import fees. But what if a Canadian buyer gets on and tries to buy something through global shipping? There's going to be import fees. Why? Well, they're trying to streamline the process, right? And so rather than figure out each item, each country, each fee, what eBay has done is sort of blanket across the board. They figured out an average. And so they charge an average import fee for everything. So if somebody's buying a very expensive, I don't know, a stereo system, way high end, right? And they buy that in Canada or let's say Japan, wherever, right? Their import fees might actually be less than what their country would ordinarily charge. But if somebody bought a t-shirt, their import fees are going to be stupid high because it's an average. And so a lot of people, especially in Canada, you'll hear whenever the discussion comes up on Facebook groups or in comments on videos like this one, I'm going to guess that somebody from Canada is going to watch this and say, yeah, the listings that we see from global shipping, we just move on. They're ignoring your listing, okay, because they know the fees are going to be too high. They don't have to pay those fees. And so there's no reason for them to buy your item and pay fees that they would not ordinarily have to pay. They're going to go find somebody that's listing it in a manner that doesn't make them pay those fees. And what is that manner? Well, one of them is the eBay standard international delivery. So what about protections? Global shipping. The protections you get from global shipping, basically, I've got to get my item, if I sell an item through GSP, I've got to get my what's it to Erlanger, Kentucky. That's where the hub is, the warehouse. I got to get it there safely. If it gets there on time, safely, my job is done. 100% it's done. If there's any complaints after that, now this is global shipping. If there's any complaints after that, the people at eBay are supposed to take care of you. If it's broken when it gets there, if it's damaged when it gets there, if it doesn't get there, all of that is handled. You are covered 100% through eBay. Okay, so that is very, very nice. I still use that for super high end stuff just because I like that protection. But for the most part, I don't. And the eBay standard international delivery, then, what protections do you have through that? Well, they're not the same. They're similar. They're similar to the protections that you have if you're shipping something in the States. I wrote a list down here because I want to make sure that we get them to you. Okay, standard. It goes to the hub, just like global shipping. It's going to a hub. Now, some of them are actually in Kentucky. Very often, I send mine to California. They fly out of LAX. Okay, so it still goes to a hub. Now, you can use free priority boxes. That's a nice thing because you are shipping domestically priority mail. Your address is going to a U.S. location, so you can use those priority boxes. You have the normal USPS protections, or FedEx or UPS, whatever you're using, I guess. I pretty much use United States Postal Service for 98% of my stuff. So you have the same protections on the shipping as far as like priority comes with built-in coverage, right? If something gets mangled, you file a claim, all that. That will cover you from your shipping station to wherever it is going, whether it's Kentucky or California, whatever. So you have those standard protections. But after that, you get through the standard international delivery, you get up to 100. You get your item's value all the way up to $100. So if it's worth more than 100, you're kind of out. Though you can buy extra insurance, I believe, through ShipSaver. I think you can do that. But you're covered for at least $100 through the standard international delivery system. Now, that covers you in case of damage during shipping or loss during shipping. Okay, so that's what you're covered. It's actually covered. It's not eBay. It's a third-party coverage system. It is I wrote it down here, the Parcel Insurance Plan. They're a third-party system that has a contract with eBay, essentially. So if something happens, you don't actually file your claim through the Postal Service because once it gets to the destination, the Postal Service doesn't have it anymore, right? And you don't file it through eBay because they've contracted out. So you do it through the PIP people. I'll put a link down in the description just in case you're curious. There is a link where you basically fill out an online form if you want to file any kind of claim with those folks on one of these deliveries. They say you have to wait 30 days and then you can file the claim. So I will put the link down there. What's interesting is they get pretty in depth of what they don't cover on this. And I found it kind of interesting. Basically, if there's natural disasters, they won't cover it. Earthquake, flood, tornado, basically act of God, they're not covering you. It's sorry, your item got lost in the tornado. I get it. You know what? That's fine. If there's a fire, they will cover you. Now, what was interesting, and I want to read this, I wrote it down. You are not covered for a loss or damage from hostile or warlike actions. If war starts, you're out of luck. And they actually go further. Any weapon of war employing atomic fission or radioactive force. It's actually in the policy. If an atomic bomb goes off and destroys your package, you're not covered. For real, it's in there. Though interestingly, you could probably have a case because they do cover you in case of fire. They talk about if there's a chemical attack or yada, 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 you're not covered unless that starts a fire and the fire damages your item, in which case you're covered. So I guess if the hydrogen bomb starts a fire at LAX and it damages my snow globe going to Poland, I guess I'm covered for that if I want to go through the process of you're not covered in case of nuclear war. Sorry, guys. After 30 days, you file your claim and the PIP people, then you're dealing with them. I've not had to do that, and so I can't speak to how well they pay out, how frustrating the process is. I would assume, like most of the stuff, when we have to actually go through processes, it's probably annoying. That said, I have not had any problems yet. I've not had any issues with my stuff not making it to its destination. The only time that I've had problems like that is when I shipped on its own, or when I shipped it on my own, right? I went through pirate ship and I shipped internationally. Now you can't actually get coverage through pirate ship. I just always neglect to do that. And for the most part, it doesn't hurt me, right? I usually don't have any problems with it. So I can't speak to how well this works, but there are systems in place. Now, you're also covered. One other thing, they say you're covered for negative or neutral feedback left for things that are out of your control. So basically that's if it's damaged during shipping, or if they can see that you shipped it on time and it still showed up late. If the buyer in France or wherever leaves neutral or negative feedback based on that, you're covered. So that's a little bit of information about the standard international delivery protections and the processes and that sort of thing. And so with that, back to the shipping station, we'll show you the rest of the process. First, we got to put her in some bubble wrap. And there we go. Now, one of the very nice things about eBay Standard International is that we can use free boxes that we get from the United States Postal Service online. So for this one of my favorite boxes, the shoe box. This thing fits some of the smaller Barbies perfect. Let me show you. And there you go. With this extra bubble on the side sticking out, I don't even need to wrap it that way because this is going to protect the sides. Look, she's getting in there all on her own. And then this actually is going to work for void fill with it kind of bunched out like that. It's not going to bounce around. And just like that, and we fold that inside. And we fold that inside. And look at that.
Like a glove.
Let's tape this up. Now it's taped up. Okay, so what we want to do is weigh the thing. So here are a little Accutech scale. If you're new to reselling, you've got to get a scale. These things on Amazon, like 25 bucks, and they work like a champ. I've replaced the batteries once in, I think, 2 years. So here we go. It is 1 pound, 3 ounces. You always got to round up. So 1 pound, 3 ounces. And the shoebox is 7 by 5 by 15. So let's go over to the computer. Okay, so here you go. When I put this in, I defaulted it at 1 pound, 8 ounces. It's actually 1.3, so we're going to change that, even though that's not actually going to change the price at all, because it's based on, basically on each individual pound going up, okay? Now, we want to change our dimensions, right? So, anybody remember what it was? It was 7 by 5 by 15. Oh, not 1/16. That would cost more. Okay, so we've got our weight and our dimensions in. Okay, just like you would do for a normal order, right? Underneath here, eBay International Standard Delivery. Of course, that's what the buyer selected because that is the international option that I gave them. Now, we're not shipping this today. We're shipping this tomorrow, so we'll change that. And so the price for that is 20 bucks. Okay, so people worry about, what about customs? I don't want to go through all the paperwork. I don't want to fill out the customs forms. All right, well, guess what? Through eBay Standard International, you don't have to do anything. Look, here's the item description. They put it in there for you. They put the quantity. They put the value. Now, the weight you want to change because that was different, right? So we want 1.3. Okay, so we're going to change that. And it's merchandise. You don't have to fill out any of this stuff, okay? All blank. Leave that all blank. All you have to do for customs paperwork is make sure that the weight is correct, okay? Add in the right weight, and then click that box. Just like that, my customs paperwork is done. Like literally, that is it. Now, we're going to purchase the shipping label. Now, I don't know why, but you can see right here, it says, we'll charge you after the shipping label is used. So this isn't actually coming out of my account right now. It comes out once it's scanned. I don't know why they do it that way, but that is the way that they do it. So let's purchase the shipping label. All right, and it's done. And there it is on the box. So once again, like I said, you can use these free boxes because you know what? I am shipping it priority mail, just like global shipping. If you guys have done the global shipping, it goes to a US-based location. So does this. This goes to a US location, and then they forward it on. See, it says international delivery. There's the international code right there. This is the USPS tracking. It's going to transfer over to France here pretty soon. But look, all this does is go to the eBay's International Delivery Center at LAX. And that's it. Literally, that's how simple it is. And you have now opened your store by allowing eBay Standard International Delivery. You have opened your store to the world. And now instead of a few million people seeing it, many, many millions of people are seeing your stuff, and they're great buyers, guys. I mean, people worry about, well, what if I get scammed? What if I get scammed by some guy in Cleveland, right? There are bad people everywhere. I've had probably more bad customers here in the States than I have internationally. I mean, it's just the truth. I've only had 3 or 4 bad experiences internationally. And so you kind of chalk that up to the cost of doing business, right? Like it's going to happen. But there's no reason to avoid international shipping because of how hard it is. I just showed you how simple it really, really is. And there's no reason to avoid it because you're worried about getting scammed, because then you better not sell online at all, because those people are everywhere. So if you've got any other questions for me, leave them in the comments down below. I'm more than willing to help people out. I think international can expand your business. I've heard from multiple people that said, you know what, you convinced me, and now I'm sending out international stuff all the time. So that's fantastic. I would guess it makes up 20 to 30% of my business right now is international sales. That's great. That's thousands and thousands of dollars a year that you're leaving on the table. if you don't do this. So I hope this has helped show you how simple it is. Like I said, if you have any other questions, leave them down below. If you've got other comments, you can leave those too. Thumbs up on your way out. That certainly helps me. Hit that bell. That'll let you know when we put new stuff up. And if you don't mind, hit subscribe. That helps us out as well. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. See you next time.